Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Candidly with Coffee.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Happy Monday, or maybe Tuesday. A lot of people are off Monday.
That's right. The holiday.
Yeah.
I didn't even know till you mentioned it to me.
Juneteenth. It is a holiday, so maybe you are listening to this on a Tuesday and you're back at work. But regardless, it's a short week for a lot of people, which is cool. It's Father's Day for us right now, but it's past for you guys. Hopefully you had a really good Father's Day.
Yes.
And
hopefully you guys had a good one.
Yeah, I've got my iced coffee, and I have to share because, listen to this. You guys, I have a new obsession, and it is nugget ice. I finally joined the trend of nugget ice.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like, why didn't we buy this sooner?
I know, right?
We fight for ice in this house all the time.
We do. Not no more.
It's a bone of contention when you can hear someone at the ice maker and you're like, damn.
They beat me to it.
They beat me. And it's
two
like,
refrigerators with two crappy ice makers.
Yeah, it just doesn't keep up. So
Nah.
I watched a lot of videos and did a lot of like research before deciding on which one I wanted. And I ended up with the Frigidaire mainly because the ease of use, easy setup, easy clean function, and the volume of ice it makes. 44 pounds of ice a day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So that can keep up with us. So basically, it's always full.
Easy to refill. Like you said, easy to manage.
It's so easy. So if you are looking for a nugget ice maker, the popular one is the GE Pearl, but it's like $700. It's crazy.
It's a lot. But
I watched a video on someone who bought both, and they liked this one better, the Frigidaire.
Wow.
And it's actually, they do have this one at Costco for $2.99. But what I did was I decided I was going to get it, and then I set a deal alert on Amazon. I don't know if you can do, you know this, but you can do that if you're watching something. Because Amazon products change price daily.
Oh, really?
They're not stagnant. They go with the demand.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know
It's an algorithm. They go with the clicks and the demand. And as an Amazon influencer, I'm not even allowed to ever say the price of when I'm doing like an Amazon video.
I see.
So if I'm doing Amazon Live, I can say it here. This is my damn podcast. But if I'm doing Amazon Live, I'm only allowed to say it's a good deal. I'm not allowed to say the price because chances are when someone watches that live, it's a different price.
Yeah. It could go up or down.
They rewatch it. So I did a deal alert on the Frigidaire and it went 25% off. So I jumped on it. I got it for $235 or something like that.
Wow.
Highly recommend, you guys. So anyways, I'm having iced coffee with my nugget ice and my Premier protein shake, and it's delicious.
Looks good.
Did you already have coffee today?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you don't have your coffee.
No.
Good thing I have coffee, so
just water.
We can still be candidly with coffee.
Yes.
Or we'd be candidly with water.
It's nice to have that ice machine, though. Comes in handy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So yesterday we went to Peter's Bakery. I haven't been there in a while. It is like a staple in San Jose. It's been there since 1936. My dad knew the owner, and so he would take me in the back as a kid. And I have so many good memories with that bakery that, you know how I'm very much searching for that nostalgia feeling these days because I feel like it's a mood booster for me.
Yeah.
So going to Peter's was good. But if you guys are in the Bay Area, then you already know. You already know Peter's for sure, I think. If you are in San Jose, Peter's Bakery.
Yeah.
But if you're not in San Jose and you're in the surrounding cities and you haven't been, highly recommend them for the pastries.
Super bomb.
And the cakes.
Yes.
And the strawberry ring and the apple turnover. It's just amazing. Yeah. So if you want a recommendation, go to Peter's Bakery. If you want to know what to get there, let me know. Hit me up. I'll let you know what my favorites are. But so good, and I highly recommend it. But they're not my favorite donuts anymore. It used to be as a kid, those were my favorite donuts.
Yeah.
But now it's Christie's. Yeah,
Christie's off Berryessa and Capitol Expressway? Or Capitol?
Not Capitol Expressway.
It's
North Capitol and Berryessa.
North Capitol. There you go.
Yeah, North Capitol. So that is, Christie's is the best donuts. Now that I've tried so many different donuts, I told you this morning, I don't even want to
Don't leave Stands out.
yeah, you're right.
Santa
Stands is
Clara.
good too in Santa
Yeah.
Clara. But I don't, besides.
People are probably like, hold up, don't leave Stands out.
No, besides Stands.
Stands is fire.
Stands and Christie's, I've had
Man.
the best donut, so I don't need to keep searching. I'm good. You know why? Because if I'm going to eat a donut, I get really pissed off if it's not good because it's a splurge.
Yeah.
So you don't want to waste the splurge. So I don't want to take a risk on donuts.
For you guys listening to this, we're on the topic of donuts. Tell us your recommendations, what your favorites are. We're curious because we like to discover stuff too. We're not closed-minded.
I have to admit, though, what's that place that we went to in Austin? That was really good. And they're also in Universal Studios. Something with a V. Voodoo Donuts.
Dude, yes.
So Voodoo Donuts is good.
Yeah. Because I thought it was novelty donuts.
Because I'm weird about novelty sometimes, but they were
Yeah.
good. Oh, and actually, I just thought of another really good place. I think it's the Donut Box. It's in San Diego. It's a top rated in the gas lamp district.
Yes.
You can order ahead, which I recommend you do because they actually run out of donuts.
Yep.
Those were delicious too. I don't know. I just love donuts.
Foodies.
I'm a foodie, but I'm a donut-y.
It's because we grew up on them as kids. Saturday morning cartoons, donuts.
Oh man, Saturday morning cartoons
Yes.
with donuts. Just
There was no DVR back then. There was no going to your
No.
apps and I'm going to find my Saturday. No, you had
Nope.
to be awake for your Saturday morning cartoons or you miss out.
for sure.
Those are the ones. I look forward to that.
So I have to share with you guys a little story that happened to me with Phoebe at our dog groomers this week that I'm upset about. I've been going to this dog groomer, Doggy Styles, in the South San Jose for 12 years. They've had different groomers working there over the years. But since I got Phoebe, I've been real particular about how I want her cut to look. And they have messed up her cut multiple times now, and they're by not following the instructions. But they finally got it right the last time we went. So I was like, okay, good. You guys got it right. They have her picture. They have all her information. They were specifically told, do not shave the top of her nose because I want her to have that teddy bear look where she has like a round muzzle. And so my request is I want to do a round muzzle, which should be enough of an instruction, but in the past it hasn't been, and they've shaved the top of her nose. But this time I wanted to be really clear, so I said round muzzle, do not shave the top of her nose because it takes months to grow back when they F it up.
Yeah.
Would you believe I picked her up and they shaved the top of her damn nose? And the other times that they've messed up, I was cool about it. I was like, you know what? It happens. Next time I'll be more specific because I didn't say don't shave the nose. I said round muzzle and I showed them they took a picture of what I wanted with the round muzzle, but they didn't do it. But I let it slide twice. But I blew my gasket this time. I just lost it.
Yeah. Because it was there in the notes too.
Yeah.
It said it. We took a picture of it. Like it said it right there. The girl said, I wrote it down. You did. It's not your fault. It's their fault. Not paying attention to detail. That's the problem today. Something's missing. People aren't paying attention to detail,
Yeah,
man.
people don't pay attention to detail.
Man.
Like I said,
Detail.
I was so
Slow
upset.
down.
I was actually more sad because now I'm like, okay, 2 more months for it to grow back. I almost cried, but I looked at the girl. I was like, I've never complained. Like, never. Their haircuts aren't always perfect. There's little mistakes here and there.
Yeah.
Charles was nicked recently. They recently changed groomers over the past year. And in that year, they've messed up Phoebe 3 times. And remember, they had to let me know they cut Charles's hind leg.
Yeah.
He had a little owie there. But I was like, in 12 years, not even when they did that to Charles, because I was like, you know what, mistakes happen. I've never thrown a fit. I've never made a big deal about mistakes. But now I'm pissed. That's what I told her.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I'm really pissed. I don't even know how to express it. I'm so pissed. I said, and the way it works is you pay on the app before you pick them up. So I had already paid. I'm like, I don't think that I should pay for this. This is bad. It's going to set me back months. And she said that she couldn't refund it because it was already in the system or whatever. So I was like, well, I'm going to dispute half the charge. Not for Charles because they didn't mess up, but I'm going to dispute it with my credit card company just so you know. I'm not trying to be shady, but I just don't feel like I should pay for this.
Especially after you specified something.
Because it can't be fixed. I have to wait 2 to 3 months to get it right again.
Yeah, it's one thing like if they left her hair a little too long.
Yeah,
Okay, it needs a
no
trim
big
job.
deal.
Go back.
Yeah.
But that you can't.
No. She looks like a poodle. I don't want her to look like a poodle. I want her to look like a teddy bear.
Hmm.
Anyways, I don't know. I just thought I would share that with you guys. But I have a long fuse.
Yeah, you do. I wanted to blow it for you.
I know. I have a long fuse, but when I finally blow and get upset. So what did I do when I got home? I disputed the charge, and I'm like, you know what? That's 3 times now they've messed up her haircut. That's 3 strikes. I have to find a new groomer. So I did. Sometimes you need to have bad. I needed this, I think.
What do they say? One door closes, another opens.
I needed to force myself, because I'm a creature of habit. I've been going there for 12 years, but it hasn't been right the past year. And I'm glad it was this kind of a mistake instead of they broke their leg or an injury or, God forbid, a death or something that happens a lot of times at groomers.
Yeah, it does.
So I found a mobile groomer and has good reviews, and we're going to try it out. Might take a few groomers before I find one, but I found a mobile one. We're going to test it out. Actually, we're testing it out on Rocky first, which is a good test because
it's going to be simple. It's not really a haircut,
but I want to see what their van looks like. And,
yeah, the workstation.
Yeah, and see it just in general how it works for mobile.
Yes.
A little more expensive, but it'll save time because we were driving clear across town.
Yep, twice. Drop off, pickup.
All right, so the hot coffee topic of the day, which I'm sure everybody knows by now. Kourtney Kardashian is pregnant.
I didn't know that. I did know that until you mentioned it to me, but I would have never known that.
Yeah, Kourtney Kardashian. You would have when you watched TMZ. Okay. Kourtney Kardashian is pregnant. It was announced to the public at a Blink-182 concert. She had a sign that says, "Travis, I'm pregnant." And everybody, the internet's, oh my gosh, that's how she let him know. And no. Obviously, he already knows she's pregnant. Hold up. She's probably pretty far along.
The internet really thought
that she was telling him at that time at the concert.
What's wrong with us today?
Now, if you're a Blink-182 fan, you would know why she did that. Because in the All the Small Things music video, there's a girl in the crowd with a sign that says, "Travis, I'm pregnant." It's a paying homage to the video.
I would have never known that.
So it was a cool way. I'm sure she's far enough along to feel comfortable announcing. She must be at least 14 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. How old is she?
She's 44.
Wow.
She's 44. They must have done IVF.
Yeah.
I know they were doing IVF, then they took a break. Must have tried again or whatever, because at 44, the chances of...
Dangerous.
The chances of getting pregnant without intervention at 44 is less than 5%.
Wow.
Less than 5%. But yeah, happy for them. That's cool. So it'll be... Someone better check on Scott, though. That must feel weird for Scott.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Whoa, because they have how many kids together?
3.
Yeah. She got married. She has a new husband. Now she's going to have a baby with him. Yeah.
That's a little different. He always had, that was his thing with her. Now Travis will have that with her too.
Yep.
I don't know. All right. So, you know what? I've been thinking a lot because of comments and stuff that I get on social media. Someone will comment on what I'm eating or whatever and say, but can I eat that even if I don't work out? And it just made me stop and think. Also, a great volume of the macros that I calculate for clients that do the macro assessments, a lot of times they indicate their activity level as sedentary.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes, believe it or not, the goal is put on muscle and lose weight, they're always replying sedentary. And it has me thinking something.
This is the majority of people?
Yes.
Damn.
Why aren't you working out? I think I need to start just asking people that, like throwing their ball back in their court.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not working out or you're saying you are sedentary, but why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Do you have a reason?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you right now, if you do not have a reason to not be exercising and you're not exercising, you need to change that.
ASAP.
You need to change that. That needs to be priority numero uno.
Yes.
Unless you have a reason that is detrimental to your health or life. Unless you have a disability that prevents you from completely working out. Because I've had some very successful fitness and weight loss clients that have significant disabilities that work around it.
Yep, always.
I had a one-on-one client who had a significant disability, and she said she would always not work out because of her disability. And then she stopped one day and thought, wait a minute, I can work around this.
Of course you can.
So unless you cannot, so we'll put those people aside. We're not talking to you. For whatever reason, you cannot.
Your doctor said no, you have a bad heart, just whatever the case may be.
There's reasons that you cannot. Because excuses like I don't have time, or I have bad knees, or my back hurts,
False.
or I have a bad shoulder, all of those things can
I got two bad shoulders.
You can have a program. You can be programmed and still exercise with those things. In fact, most people that say they don't work out because they have problems with their back or their joints, you actually need to work out. That's why you have those problems.
Exactly. That's what they don't realize. Your body's so tight and tense and closed up. Everything's like cranky when you move, so tight. You got to lubricate the joints. You got to move.
You have to build strength.
Yes.
You have to build strength so that your muscles have the strength to support your bodily functions and movement.
Exactly.
So if your back is hurting, it's because it's not strong enough to support you all day.
True.
You have to strengthen it. That's what you need to do. So I think, why aren't you working out? If you're listening to this right now and you don't work out, why?
Yeah,
why do you not? And do you care? Why do you care about weight loss and all this other stuff if you're not doing what's in your power right now? You're not working out. That's the first and foremost, the number one thing that you should work on implementing into your life. Now, it made me think, like, because everyone has to start somewhere, and starting is the hardest part. Definitely.
That's true.
Starting
Getting going
sucks.
It does. Because you're lost. It's like, all right, I'm at the gym. What do I do? Where does this begin? You are. It's true.
And you have to enjoy it, because if you don't, you'll never go back.
No.
So you have to figure out what motivates you, for sure. And you got to use that motivation as a building block. But it made me think, what motivated you to begin working out? Why did you start working out? Let's
rewind very far back.
Very far back.
48 now, almost 49, halfway to 49. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I started working out, lifting weights. I was a skinny kid. I played a lot of basketball. Grew up in San Francisco. Walked all over the place. I couldn't gain weight. I started working out to gain confidence. I wanted to attract girls. I knew muscles. I wanted to just have a nice body. You know what I'm saying? Have a nice physique. And what motivated me, or what inspired me, I tell you all the time, is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the movies.
Yeah,
Sylvester
I love
Stallone,
that.
The 90s.
Yeah.
And then that was the golden era of bodybuilding. Back then, everybody in the clubs was built. My bouncer friends were all built. That was the look.
Yeah.
But rewinding back, at 15, that's when I started my journey.
15?
Yeah. Lifting weights at home weight set, little by little, trying to build these little muscles.
And then here's the thing. Did your friends also want to do it? Or did the people that you hung out with, were they into it also?
Yes.
That helps.
I found a group of friends that were into the same shit I was into, working out. My gym buddies.
Yeah.
Which I'm still best friends with one of them to this day, Mauricio Salazar. We met in the gym.
You know what's interesting?
17 years old, with kids.
That I think this is a hard lesson that you're going to need to learn if you're listening to this out there. Pay attention to who you hang around with the most.
That's very important.
Because you are going to do what they do. And if you do not have, and it's okay to have some people that obviously have different interests or whatever, but you need to build a circle that's also into exercising and eating healthy and doing activities, because you're going to become who you hang around with. Oh my God, I sound like my dad. That's what he would always say, though.
It's right, though.
Yeah.
Think about, not to get off topic, but just how I grew up, bringing the kind of company I kept around.
Right. You end up doing what they do.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, if you're struggling staying on track with a fitness regimen or eating healthy or just a healthy lifestyle in general, is it because the people that you spend we don't have a lot of spare time in this world, especially if you have families, a job. So are the people that you're spending that spare time with, are they not emulating the lifestyle that you're trying to create? Because if not, you're going to have to start incorporating more time spent with people who are also trying to live the same lifestyle as you are.
Yeah, because when you're around those people that are not, they're going to derail you and throw things in your face and make you feel bad and guilty because...
Even if they don't, just by their actions, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%.
Eat this, try that. It's okay. You're getting too skinny, this, that. Throw the digs. Like, man, shut up. You're just hating. You're a hater.
Yeah,
deep
you
down.
have to... Even, I don't have a ton of spare time, but even like the spare time I spend, like I get together with my cousins, I always try to attach like an activity to it.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, let's go out and drink. It's let's go to Orange Theory and then go have a margarita, or let's go for a walk and go get acai bowls, or
let's move.
It's always movement attached with the social aspect. And they also like to do it too. And that's important. But imagine if my social time was always eating and drinking. Then because those people that I socialize with, they wouldn't want to do an activity. So my time with them is always eating and drinking.
Yeah.
That's going to affect things a little bit. So you do have to build that circle that's trying to get to the same place you are. That's important.
Very important.
Or the people who are already there that you look up to. That's even better.
More important. That's what I did coming up in the gym when I was young, looking up to the bodybuilders and the dudes way more experience than me. That's how I've always gotten better.
Exactly.
That's why I joined a fight academy with guys that are way better than me, way more experience. It makes me better. I learn from them. I've always done that. I've always went to places like I learn from better people than me.
And so I think sometimes you have to take a hard look at who you spend a lot of your time with.
Yes.
And
very important.
You have to maybe do a little bit of auditing. You really do. If you really are serious, if you're really serious about getting some serious results or taking it to the next level, breaking through.
Yeah. People be like, I ain't got no time. Oh, but you got time for them damn drinks, huh? Going to the bars and pep talk hour and psychology
Show
hour.
me your schedule. I'll find you the time. The time is not your issue.
What do we always talk about? Listen, you ain't busier than Joe Rogan. You're not busier than The Rock.
Yeah.
You're not busier than Mark Wahlberg. I'm just throwing those super busy dudes who work out and run businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses. Sorry, you're not on their level. You're not as busy as them.
Time is not the issue. You make choices.
Excuses.
Your choices are leading you not to have enough time. If you're missing your morning workouts, it's because you made a choice to go to bed a little later the night before and you're still tired. If that's one of your reasons why you're not working out is time, you're making excuses.
Exactly.
At that point. But it made me think of what made me start working out.
Yeah, what made you want to start?
I'm thinking even though I wasn't consistent with working out, I always desired to have a nice body. So even as young,
who did you look up to? Who did you idolize growing up?
So I would watch movies and idolize the actress in the movie. Oh, look at her body. I want to look like that. I remember, so I was trying to think back. Early on, I think I was maybe 11, Point Break. There was a girl she had short hair actually, and she was just fit, kind of sporty fit. It's funny because that's what attracted me. That's the kind of body I wanted, that sporty fit look.
Okay.
She looked so good in the movie. I can't think of her name, but she was the main love interest for Keanu Reeves in the movie. And we thought she was just so hot and we wanted to look like her. So there was that. So I remember that early. That was probably the earliest I remember.
Okay.
And then I remember Cindy Crawford. She was top model.
Of course.
And she came out with a workout video.
Oh.
And so it was a VHS tape. And we were a little older. We were teenagers, 16 maybe. And 15, 16, and Lisa, my cousin Lisa, we hung out a lot, and we sent her boyfriend to go buy us the tape because we thought if we did this tape that we would look
like Cindy Crawford. Oh my goodness, you guys were on pipe dreams.
And it was so sad because I tried so hard I thought exercise back then. The only thing I thought was that these tapes and certain exercises would get your body to look a certain way. I did not know anything about nutrition.
You know what's crazy though about back then? I'm gonna rewind to back then because I was in the gym back then at 17. No women were ever in the weight side of the gym. They were
Yeah,
either
it's different.
machines or mainly just cardio. That's it. And
But
aerobics, a lot of aerobics classes back then. Remember the aerobics? A lot of
yes,
that.
aerobics. Lisa loved aerobics. I hated aerobics, so I never would do the aerobics. But and
Yeah.
now, then the next person that I remember, oh, I'm like, I want to look like her someday. And it's so funny because again, a sporty, fit look. So that's definitely always been in my mind. Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. She was doing pull-ups and wearing a wife beater.
Dude.
And she was like sweaty and like fit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like that body.
Yeah,
I loved it.
She shocked everybody.
Yeah.
She like hit it until we saw the movie, but I was like,
because she looked like a typical soccer mom in the part one.
She wanted to show up Arnold, she said. Look at me, Arnold.
So that's my earliest. So basically, and nothing changed really because what motivates me is to I like to look for inspiration.
Yeah.
I like to find someone that inspires me. And then I let me look at what they do. And let me live. That's why even to this day on YouTube, I watch, even though I'm not like prepping for a bikini show or whatever, I still watch a lot of bikini competitors. I like to see their prep vlogs of eating prep food and exercise and workouts and cardio. I just like it. It motivates me.
You've been there. That's why you've been a part of that world.
So even though that's not how, I don't really eat that kind of food really or prep like that, it motivates me to make good choices and get my steps in. It just motivates me. So it still works. So I still do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And see, that's a good tip of advice. Okay, if you're having a hard time finding motivation, turn something on. Somebody that motivates you, inspires you, watch it. It's visual. Same thing. That's why I watch fights and I watch certain things, but it all motivates me too to get better and go train.
Yeah, it makes me like excited it makes me excited to put a new gym outfit on and go to the gym. Like go work out. Like whatever works, because I've never been someone that up until over the past few years, I didn't love exercise. I did it because it was a necessary evil. Because I knew that I needed to not only eat right, but I also needed to exercise. If I wanted to achieve this body that obviously I have been desiring since a very young age, because it wasn't like these like voluptuous girls. I would gravitate towards the fit, sporty, athletic look. That's what I liked.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had to get there through exercise, and I didn't always know exactly what to do.
And me, I prefer an athletic build versus a bodybuilder build. And back when I was younger, I preferred the muscle build.
You wanted to try to get as big as possible.
Yeah, I wanted that look, but not like more athletic, more versatile.
And you know what I think that...
Functional.
And if I would have known this then, because there was a time in my life that I thought, I desire this, and I did the Cindy Crawford video, and it didn't work. And I probably just can't get it. I just don't have the body to get it. Like I just wasn't blessed. I can't get it. You know what's beautiful? When you realize that you can get it.
That's what's crazy.
Like you can get it.
Anyone can.
Yeah.
But people don't look at themselves like that. You have to understand. Okay, listen. For you guys that are overweight and you just can't see, you're like overweight, you're round, whatever your body type is, there's no way. You understand something. If me or her had the magic power, I said, watch this. What kind of body you want? God, snapped the finger and stripped all your fat off and showed all your lean muscle. You'll be blown away. We all have lean muscle. We all
have it.
You have to look past that, though. That's the thing. You have to look past that. Yes.
It's if you're telling yourself, I'm not going to work out because I'll never look like that, or my body.
That's not true.
You're just giving yourself an out because you don't want to put in the work.
Yes.
But if you're willing to put in the work, you can achieve it. And I don't care how old you are. You can transform. Look at Linda Hamilton wasn't super young when she transformed.
You know how rare that movie, I don't remember that movie when it came out, but you know how rare it was to see women doing pull-ups unassisted? Yeah. Now, I see it quite often. I'm seeing women doing pull-ups, and it's impressive because you women don't pack as much muscle as men. And I seen a chick squatting 225 down and up, and she wasn't even steroided out or even all that muscular. I'm like, Jesus, women are strong these days. They're believing, that's why. It's all here. They believe in themselves. It's the belief system.
The first time I truly transformed, where I was able to strip enough body fat down and expose my muscle, I was 36 years old. 37.
With 2 children.
37.
Yeah.
It was 10 years ago. So I was already older, and you can even do it now. Even if I had never, like I was starting now, could I do it? now again, yes. Could you do it in your 50s? Yes. Could
Yes.
you do it in your 60s? Yes, you can.
They're competing now.
You
Those age
can
groups.
absolutely. My sister was in her 40s the first time she transformed. She did a bikini show and she completely changed her body.
Yes, that's right.
Remember? I think that if I would have known back then, it took me a long time to realize that. No, I can. I wish I would have known back then because I would have got it back then. The reason why I gave up is because I thought that I had to, that what I had been able to achieve just by being getting thin and losing weight, that was it for me. If I would have known I could do more, I would have done it then. I just thought that I couldn't, that I wasn't capable, that my stomach would never be flat, that I would never have abs, that I would never have a tiny waist. I just didn't think it was possible.
It's mind-blowing.
So I'm telling you, it is possible. I don't care how old you are and I don't care how much weight you're carrying. You can get there, but you have to be willing to do it, to stop making excuses, to put in the work.
It's not easy.
Surround yourself with like-minded people who are also trying or living that life or trying to live that life. But you can get it if you want it, but you have to want it.
Yeah.
Like I've wanted it, obviously, since I was 10, 11 years old. I just didn't know how to get there.
And you know what I used to do too in the gym when I didn't know something or I had any questions? I respectfully go ask the bodybuilder dudes. Pick their brain. Don't be afraid to ask people for help.
Yeah.
Pick their brain. Don't be afraid. You'll make some friends in the gym, actually. A lot of people will be happy to help, give you their tips or their advice.
Hire a trainer, a coach, a trainer.
Yeah.
That was life-changing for me, clearly, in
We
more
both
ways
did.
than one.
I've had a trainer. I'm a trainer and I've had a trainer.
Right.
Well,
Trainers have trainers, usually.
Yes.
Most personal trainers have their own trainer.
because they like to be pushed as well. And they don't have to, they take the thinking. It makes it fun. Someone else is giving you their work.
If you're willing to hand it over to your coach and be like, hey, coach, and I am a coach, so I'm talking about myself too. If you're able to just, hey, this is what I desire to achieve, and I want you to help me get there, and I trust you, so tell me what to do. And if you're willing to do that and you're willing to put in the work and actually do what you're being told to do, your body's going to transform. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. So if you're my client and you just like hand over the keys.
Yep.
And let me take the wheel a little bit, learn while you're transforming so that you could take over the wheel at some point and carry on the rest of the way. That's exactly what I did. When I went to Matt,
yeah,
I was, look, I don't know anything. I'm going to take everything that I think I know and I'm going to let it go because obviously I haven't been able to achieve what I want to achieve. So what I know is not good enough. I'm going to trust you and I'm going to do everything you tell me, even if I disagree with it, and I'll learn along the way. And that's what I did. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I coach people today. That's why I want to expand my training business. And even so, the fitness side of things too. I know I focus a lot more on the nutrition, but I want to help people with their fitness as well.
Yes. They have a hard time starting, and that's where we need to figure it out. Set little mini goals. Okay, what do you want to accomplish first off? Do you want your legs stronger? Okay, try to do some body weight squats. Let's go for 5. You do 5 pretty easy? Okay, let's go for 10.
Right.
All right, cool. Pretty easy. Let's get 5-pound dumbbells.
What I've noticed is,
just start slow.
You know, my eye, I have this, like the personal trainer eye these days especially. I will look around a room, like at Orange Theory, and I will think about, okay, if I was their trainer right now, this is what I would go up to them and say to do. Okay, in most cases, it's drop the weights.
Yes.
That I see.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, they'll just try to pick up weights and do the movement. If you've never done a movement and if you're not doing the movement properly, you got to do it without weights first and get the form down, get the posture down, the proper movement. But I love it. I love that stuff. But you have to learn and you have to. So if you are not working out and you're looking to maybe get into it, a lot of people are willing to sell their soul to the devil to get on Ozempic or something like that, which I get that part. But the best investment, when I think back to when I hired Matt, who was not cheap, he was about the cost of Ozempic a month. But what if I had done Ozempic then? Not that I didn't need it at the time because I didn't have that much weight to lose when I started training with him. I maybe had 15 pounds to lose. But let's just say I wanted to lose 15 pounds, so I used that money and I hopped on Ozempic instead. Where would I be today? I would have probably lost the weight initially, not figured out how to kept it off, gained the weight back, been out the money, and right back to where I started.
But you didn't learn to build muscle in your body too.
But what did I do instead? I didn't buy medication. I hired a trainer, and I still use that knowledge today. And I was able to maintain my results, and I was able to build on that foundation. See the difference? That's money that was money well spent.
And look, it inspires your daughter to compete.
Yeah.
She followed in your footsteps.
Yeah, because I did it, then she did it, and now she lives the lifestyle.
Yes, she learned macros, and she knows, what do you call it, balance, and you taught her all
She's
that.
a good trainer.
Yes.
She trained me for a while.
Yeah.
She was training me for a while, and she trained you for a while too, a little bit. She's just really good. It's so nice. Even, like I said, even trainers need trainers. Why? Because I'm so busy writing other people's programs that I just want someone to do mine so that I can turn off my brain for a little bit. Just tell me what to do. I don't want to think about it. Correct me if my form is wrong. Do it for me. It's a nice luxury. But if you do have the means, look into getting a trainer. It's an investment you will never regret.
Or if you can't afford it, if you have a spouse, boyfriend, or maybe a girlfriend who has the same interest, maybe you two can get a trainer together, split the cost.
Yeah, because you can usually get a bargain. Yeah.
Yeah.
If your personal trainer, and when you open up hours, I'll let you guys know for sure when Mike's going to be taking on clients here very soon. But if you train in your same hour, you can, if you have multiple people, you get a discount.
Yes.
Because it's within the same hour, but there's still a cost per person because for training, like when you take on clients, it's going to come with my macro.
It comes with Mrs. COJ's secret sauce.
Yeah, my macro coaching
sauce
will be
that's
included.
proven to work.
It'll be like basically more like transformation coaching.
Yes.
But I'm excited for that. That'll be fun.
And it's cool because different styles too of training. So many different ways to train people.
Yeah.
Some of these ladies,
you're a good trainer though.
Might want to learn a little bit of boxing. When I was a trainer for 24, a lot of the girls want to hit pads a lot more, so I let them hit pads.
Yeah, it's good cardio.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
I'd incorporate.
Everything. Yeah, very good. So comment corner, we have a comment corner, which is basically I'm replying to a comment that was left on one of our videos. Thought it was a good comment, so I thought I would reply to it on this episode. So somebody commented asking, does your stomach really stretch or shrink, or is that a myth? Do you know how people say, oh, I stretched my stomach so I can eat a lot more, or I shrunk my stomach so I can hardly eat?
Yes,
like I've heard I thought that was such a good question.
That is a good question.
Is that a myth, or does that really happen?
I like that question.
So first of all, like the muscle is it's like a bag. The stomach is a muscle. It's smooth muscle that's like a bag that can expand. But so it can stretch theoretically, but it cannot shrink. It will just go back to its original size. So in terms of shrinking your stomach, you can never shrink it smaller than its original size, unless you get bariatric surgery, because that's what they're doing. They're making your stomach smaller. So the answer is it can stretch, but it will return back to normal size. The feeling that your stomach shrunk is a sensation because of hormones. And it's two hormones that give you that sensation. Leptin, because leptin is the hormone that your body releases that tells you you're full, tells you to stop eating. Also, the GLP-1 hormone. GLP-1 is the hormone that gives you the feeling, tells your brain is telling you don't eat anymore because the stomach contents are full. And that's why Ozempic works. That's what that is. Ozempic and semaglutide. It is creating that sensation that you're full.
I see. But you know what's funny is I used to think the same thing too. Remember, eat 6 small meals and your stomach shrinks. That was the assumption. I remember we used to hear all the time, okay, well, eat 6 small meals and my stomach's going to shrink. Yeah,
people will still say, oh, eat smaller meals because then, here's the thing that is true though.
You heard that too, right?
Yes,
same thing.
For sure. But it will work both ways. It depends on your meals. It could be good to eat small meals if you are someone that's struggling with appetite, like your appetite's out of control, because you always want to keep something in your stomach so that you're body doesn't send off ghrelin, which is the hormone, the hunger hormone that says, hey, eat some food. Your stomach contents are empty now. We want more contents. So it can do that because it can increase your ghrelin. But small meals, when they're not properly balanced, also can make you hungrier because your blood sugar is constantly going up and down and up and down. It's not regulated.
Yeah.
So it depends on the type of hunger you're experiencing. That, again, it goes back to what we talked about last week. Figure out the source of your hunger. What is the source? We talked about all on the last episode. If you didn't listen to episode 421, listen to it. But it's the vagus nerve in your stomach that actually sends signals to your brain to slow down or stop eating. I thought that was interesting. So it's not possible to shrink your stomach. It is possible to change how your stomach adjusts to hunger and feelings of fullness. So this is why I mentioned in the last episode, if you put in that fiber before you're eating and it fills your stomach and it slows down gastric emptying, if your stomach stays with the contents in it a little longer, it's going to keep you fuller longer. When your contents of your stomach empty is when your body will release the ghrelin.
Gotcha.
Now, one thing that can happen, though.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, one thing that can happen is if you get bariatric surgery and you shrink your stomach, it's smaller, right? Surgically smaller. You can stretch that out.
Of course.
And that is how people who have gastric bypass eventually gain the weight back. They're pushing the limits. You have to really be in tune and not do that, because even if, say, you didn't have gastric bypass, but you constantly eat to that fullness feeling like that you're gonna burst, because when you're doing that, because you love what you're eating, but you're full and you keep eating, as soon as your stomach is full, your body releases leptin. Leptin tells you to stop eating. But if you keep eating even though you're full, you're ignoring the leptin. So you're training your body to ignore the leptin.
When you go past that full feeling.
Yes. And so what does that do? It creates leptin resistance, which means you will not be really in tune. You'll eventually not be in tune with when to stop eating. And you will constantly overeat. That will lead to obesity. And it actually is so bad to overeat like that. Because imagine it's overstuffing your clothing washer. If you're washing clothes and you put way too many clothes in the load, is it going to wash the clothes properly?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
You stuff a bunch of food, it's not going to process the nutrients properly. You're going to shut down like your system. You're going to cause like things to not operate properly.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that. Overeating is not good. And you don't want to create a resistance to leptin, because that is really bad.
Yeah.
You want to be sensitive to leptin. And how do you do that is just really try to pay attention to, even though you're eating something delicious, you have to know, you know what? I want more because it's so good, but I know I'm full. I need to stop. Don't serve yourself that much. Never. That's why if you don't get a big piece of cake, share a dessert with 4 people at a restaurant or whatever, because you're going to eat past fullness, because especially when it's sugary, because of the blood sugar spikes, you're going to ignore the leptin. Your stomach is full. You're going to ignore the leptin. Not good. Every time you ignore the leptin, you're developing a resistance to the leptin. Not good. It's half true and half not. So the comment was, is that a myth if you can shrink your stomach? It is a myth that you can shrink it unless you've had gastric bypass. So it's never going to get smaller than the original size.
Yeah, because how can your stomach, you can handle eating like a man, appetite man, but some women have half your appetite.
It's probably because I have a resistance to leptin.
Yeah.
I probably need to look into how I can reset that. And because I know that it's because I overate as a child. I overate because of my love of food. I eat past fullness.
Yeah.
As
I'm
a child.
guilty as charged as well. I've done it.
I definitely eat past fullness on the weekends and stuff sometimes, but I'm pretty good.
That's the only time maybe
It's the only time.
Yeah.
It's the only time I'll ever reach fullness is on the weekend, when I have more calories on the weekend. For sure. You know what's funny? And I just want to put this out there because it's just hilarious, because hopefully that answers the question, by the way, for the comment corner. But there's so many freaking hormones, and it just cracks me up though when people use the word hormones. It's so loose. Like when I'm talking about hormones with you guys, I'm going to try to make it a point to specify specifically what hormone I am talking about, because it irritates the F out of me when people will comment going, that's not true. What about hormones? I'm like, what about hormones? Which hormone are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they never know. They can never answer me.
They just spew.
Women's hormones. Okay.
Which ones?
So which one and what specifically are you referring to? If you're going to spew out incorrect information, you better have some resources or something to cite. They usually
don't. They spew because they've heard. I've heard. The typical, I've heard. The bro science, I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard. What about this? What about hormones?
Hormones
are out of whack. What does hormones out of whack mean?
Yeah.
Like, again, if you want to actually, if you're trying to just make an excuse for something, that's one thing. Because that's usually what people are doing. They're just excusing their lack of commitment, their lack of wanting to put in work. So they just throw out these generalizations.
Yep.
But if you actually want to get to the bottom of something because you do want to get past it, you do want to work on something, you do want to put in the work, then you have to break it down. Okay. Are my hormones out of whack? Okay, what hormone are you referring to? What is the issue you're experiencing? Where is the roadblock that you're having?
Facts, ma'am.
Let's peel back the layers of the onion to figure it out. But in today's episode, I just want to go over, just so you guys have some knowledge coming out of the episode. When I talk about hunger hormones, there are 5 hormones that impact hunger specifically that are the most important. And one we've already talked about, leptin. So leptin is it's the satiety hormone. It's the hormone that tells your body you've had enough to eat. So that is leptin. And actually, the more people with more fat storage that are more overweight or have more stored body fat have more leptin, because leptin's actually stored in the fat cells. So as you get leaner, your leptin levels drop. And that's another reason why as you're losing body fat, you get hungrier.
Oh.
You know how you've ever, when you're hungry, when you're losing body fat, I'm like, don't worry, it's a good thing.
Yes.
If you're feeling extra hungry suddenly, it's because your leptin levels are dropping as you are releasing body fat, because leptin's stored in fat cells. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. It's kind of like the opposite of leptin. It's released and ghrelin is released in the cells in your stomach of an empty stomach. So that's why things like fiber and slow digesting foods are also Wegovy and semaglutide and those types of medications, because they slow down gastric emptying. So when your stomach contents remain full, you're going to release less ghrelin.
Yes.
Because ghrelin is what's going to tell you to eat more. And then there's the GLP-1. So GLP-1 is secreted by the intestine as food enters the body. It alerts the brain that you are full and should stop eating. So when you do take the medicines like semaglutide, they not only slow down gastric emptying, which is going to reduce ghrelin, they also stimulate GLP-1, which is the hormone that tells your brain, it comes out of the intestines, tells your brain to stop eating. So it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy, and that's why those medications are so effective.
I see.
Very effective. Where we have a little more control over ghrelin, without medications, we don't have control over the GLP-1 like we do with the ghrelin. The ghrelin, we can control it a little bit because you have all the tricks of the fiber and the slowing, a little
sorcery
down.
there.
Yeah, you have some tricks tricks up your sleeve, tricks
Yep.
and tools. Now, cortisol is another hormone that affects hunger as well, and that causes craving. So when your cortisol is elevated when it shouldn't be,
Lack of sleep, stressed out.
Lack of sleep and stress are the two most common reasons for cortisol to be elevated when it shouldn't be. And that can definitely impact how much you eat. And then there's insulin. So insulin is also something insulin comes from the pancreas, and that is what is taking the blood sugar out of your bloodstream, shuttling it into the cells to be used as energy. But when it does that rapidly, when it causes a blood sugar spike, and then the rapid decline, it makes you want to eat more. So those are the main hunger hormones when I talk about hunger hormones that I'm talking about. And you do have some control over some, but it's just really helpful to know what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
When you have a little more idea, when you're not just
Not
loosely
guesswork.
throwing around the word hormones, but you really don't know what the heck is going on.
No, you're just guessing.
You're just guessing. So the sensation, though, really boils down to these hunger hormones. When people have that sensation of, oh my God, my stomach is stretched or my stomach is shrinking, it's really just your brain's receptors to these hormones.
Fact.
It's not the physicality of the actual organ that's stretched or not. But it can, like I said, your stomach does stretch, but it does so regularly. It stretches to accommodate more volume.
Yes.
But it goes back to its original size, so it doesn't shrink.
And you can burst it if you eat too much. It's rare, but you can burst your stomach.
Yeah, and that would actually kill you.
Yeah.
You'd go septic because the contents of your stomach are like toxic. There's acids and stuff in there.
I saw a woman on that show, 1,000 Ways to Die. She was a mom, and she was stuffing herself till she couldn't eat absolutely nothing. And she didn't make it to the toilet in time to, what do you call that, when they make themselves throw up?
I would think that you would throw up, though.
And her stomach burst and she died.
Yeah.
True story. I was on that show. I was like, wow, she couldn't make it to the toilet. She didn't make it to the toilet in time to make herself throw up.
That's crazy.
And burst her stomach.
But I would think that like the body would throw up for you.
That's what I would think. I
think in most cases it would. For whatever reason it didn't for her. But I think in most cases you eat too much, you just vomit.
I know. It's like crazy. Your own body.
So,
Same thing. You could drown in water if you drink too much water as well. I don't know what our limits is in the body.
I don't know what that is, but it can. You can stretch the stomach, but it doesn't stay stretched. I think the myth is that it stays stretched, and now you can eat a lot more. That's a myth because it returns back to its original size once the contents of the stomach empty. However, what you are doing when you have that sensation that now you've stretched out your stomach and you can eat a lot more is because you have ignored your leptin. So you've created a resistance to your leptin. So it's really the sensation and how your brain's receptors to these hormones have been affected by you ignoring signals and not the reality of the stomach staying enlarged or shrinking. So.
Yeah. It's crazy because the alarm bells are there, but people ignore them. They're there.
And that's the problem. And I'm guilty. I've ignored the alarm bells.
Me too.
Because I like that. I think it's like an addiction a little bit. I crave that fullness because I used to eat to fullness all the time growing up as a child.
Remember we talked about as teenagers, like I was telling you, I was a skinny kid before I got into lifting weights, but I played basketball, walk all over San Francisco, and I would put away 2 Big Macs, fries, Diet Coke, and a dessert and still be effing hungry. Still be hungry an hour later.
Have you ever heard of that saying that your eyes are bigger than your stomach?
Dude.
And you know what I've learned is don't get more than you intend on eating.
Yeah, don't.
Because then you will eat past what you should be eating.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you're like, I'm only going to eat half of this, then don't put more than half of it on your plate. Because if it's delicious, you're going to eat past that leptin signal, and that's not a good thing.
It's almost like we're bad for each other because we're both foodies, but luckily you have discipline. I have some discipline. We work out a lot, so.
I think you have more discipline than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah, I don't mess up like I used to. I was bad when I was younger. You remember?
Yeah, no, but especially like recently, I think you have a good balance. You have a really good balance right now, I think.
I got to type a little bit.
You're looking good. Your physique is good. You're maintaining your weight very well. You're exercising, but you're also enjoying yourself. You're not over there freaking out. If you crave something, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to have a burrito today because you've created a good balance for yourself.
And then I'll eat less. I have to.
You accommodate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think that's healthy. What you're doing now is what I want everybody to do. That's what I do. It's what I want my clients to do. It's a sweet spot where you enjoy food, you don't feel deprived, but you're also achieving your goals. It may not be as rapid when you're flexible like that, but that's okay because this is a marathon.
Yes.
It's a marathon.
As long as I'm not going up the other direction.
Yeah. No, backwards. Maintenance is okay.
Yeah.
But don't go backwards because that means you're too loose.
Too loose.
Too loose. You got to tighten it
back up. What do we say? Simmer down.
Reel it back in.
Throw the fishing line. All right, let me reel myself back in. You got to save yourself from yourself. You're the only person who could do that, honestly. When you look in the mirror, the only person that can save you is yourself. Because no one can stop you from stuff from your mouth. Not her, not I, not the world, not your parents, not your dog, your cat. Nobody. It's all on you.
Yeah, only you can.
It's your responsibility.
I got to reel myself in quite often these days.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. That's okay.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in
Thank
to
you.
Today's episode. Please comment below and let me know if you have a question because you can be our next comment corner. That was a really good question. So thank you to the person that I put it up on the screen so you guys can see who that was. Thank you very much for that. Loved it.
Reviews.
Just had me jumping in on that whole topic. And yes, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I'm going to link that in the show notes as well. I'm going to link it in the description on YouTube so you can click on there, head over and leave us the review. I would greatly appreciate that.